Okay, so um, yeah, waiting for the game to come on, which is odd because this has been happening since yesterday. That I'm staring at a damn blank screen. What the hell is going on? So, this is supposed to be Timberman versus. What is this new thing now with no game appearing? Like, what is happening here? Is this something new with PlayStation? Is this like a new thing that needs to be, the bugs need to be fixed, or some glitch that you go to put the game on, the game just doesn't appear? Wow. All ready to go. Um, put the game in. I mean, not that I put the game in, the game is digital, but I selected it. The title came on, and now there's nothingness. Yeah, so, okay. So I guess I'm not playing anything, huh? But how are you? I'm drinking my coffee from my Guardians of the Galaxy mug. Not really sure why the video game is not going on. That's odd. Very odd, actually. Again, this started yesterday. So I don't know what the deal is, like why these video games are not coming on, but I guess it gives me a chance to talk to everybody. So if you're used to my YouTube channel, you'll see gaming on there. You'll see Doctor Who on there. Um, if you're a regular, you'll see me talk about my books from time to time. You'll see me talk about movies, comics. You know, you'll see the Everything Show, and I'll be talking about Godzilla, and I'll be talking about Aliens and Predator, and Alien, Star Trek, or Marvel, DC. But sometimes not everybody knows everything, the overall picture. Um, some people miss things, or maybe I don't talk about it enough. So I decided, like, this week, because like sometimes I get nostalgic on X, on Twitter, and I start talking about my childhood and about when I grew up and how the world was and different stores and different things. Um, and I get sort of like the nostalgic vibe where I want to talk about more things that you're not aware of growing up. Uh, was talking about how I used to love to go to Kmart and go to the electronics section and buy records, which you would call vinyls, and video games. I would always bother my dad anytime a Kiss album came out because I loved Kiss. And I remember the only sequel to Return of the Jedi was a record where it said like Star Wars, Planet of the Hoojums or something. And I was freaking out. And I used to listen to all types of music, but you never really see me talk about my music likes and dislikes and stuff to do with that. Like, you're not aware when I was first working, when I was 18 and 19, and my teen years into my 20s, going to wrestling and concerts and sporting events, and it was an interesting time and a great time when you get your first job, and then it's like, now that you're buying your own stuff, what would you buy? And not only what would you buy, but now you learn the value of a dollar. You're asking your parents for stuff. Would you spend the same amount that you would want them to on you? So it was I had an interesting perspective on things. I think when I was young, too, my car was everything to me because I loved driving all over the place. It was like always a thing, like, with my friends, like, I would love to drive, and like, it was always like the person in my front seat, like, it was like, it was like so weird. It was like, it's hard to explain, but it was just, I loved doing a lot of things. I loved going to wrestling a lot. I loved when we went to ECW in Philadelphia on the weekend. I loved that. Besides seeing WWF or WWE, they changed it too. But I just loved doing stuff in my youth. And going on my first vacation to Florida with my friends, my best friends, and going to Disney, and then the choice of jobs that I took, where finally the game boots up. Look at that. It took like 10 minutes. What the hell, right? Well, maybe you don't want to hear me rant, I guess. Why did it take so long? That was so weird, right? I was getting into it, and this game ruined it because it took so long to come on. I was really getting deep into like this past discussion. Damn, ruined everything, Timberman. I'm like, why didn't the game come on right away, too? I'm like, what am I going to talk about now? You're probably wondering, why the hell am I playing this, right? I did platinum this before, and now I'm going for another platinum for it, right? Another region. I'm playing it because it's a pain in the ass. That's why. I like it to learn the skills of being fast, cutting wood. Like, it's just, don't ask me why. I don't know. Like, I could be playing 1,000 different games right now, and lately I'm playing the weirdest shit known to man. I think it's because I kind of got worse at this game, that I want to get better at it. Jesus Christ. See, one of the things is unlocking all the characters, right? That's a trophy. You gotta unlock them all. Am I able to shut the music off? 'Cause I want to be able to talk. Okay. So yeah, I was talking about my youth. And how, like, when I got my first job, I loved buying different things. Like I bought my first stereo system. I bought at the time my CD player. All that stuff was important to me because music was important to me because music calmed me. So I loved having my own stereo system, CD system, my headphones, and listening to music while I played video games, while I wrote like different things. I write, you know. So that was a huge thing. Music was a big thing. I would always listen to music every day, and it would relax me. And again, I had crazy, crazy tastes. And it was funny. It was like I was into Kiss, but then I didn't listen to hardly anything else until my friend Mike got me introduced to like everything, like Metallica and everything. And my friend Anthony got me introduced to Rush, which I'm nowhere near fans that they are of it. I'm just like a casual listener, you know. But I did like their like the stuff that they liked. Now I'm done. But I said Staten Island was so different. A million pizza places back in the day, like there is now. And again, like I said, it was like things were different. Like there was hot dog places everywhere, hot dog trucks, hot dog things. Like it was like crazy. But I was always fascinated with, as a child, the city, New York City, Manhattan, because when my father took me to the city, my father worked on Wall Street, and it was fascinating to me. Like when he took your son to work day, and like I was just amazed with the big buildings and the hot dog. There was a hot dog cart on every damn block in New York City. And they all were in business. They didn't hurt each other, nothing. It was just so weird. There was a hot dog truck across the street from my high school. There was a hot dog truck by the mall. There was a hot dog truck by the shopping centers that I would always go to. There was always hot dog trucks everywhere. And in the city, there was a hot dog stand cart every damn block. And to say, well, where was the one place you ate hot dogs? That's irrelevant because I would eat hot dogs everywhere. When I went to the arcade, there was a hot dog stand, right? On the other one, there was a pizzeria. But again, it wasn't like, if you're talking the 70s and the 80s, there was no a million fucking pizzerias like there is now. I mean, in Staten Island, this one long block, there's like 6 or 7. So, in my area, anyway. But this is Green Mountain Nantucket medium roast on a Guardians of the Galaxy mug. And when I was growing up, like I was saying on Twitter, I would love to go to Kmart because Kmart, when we were done shopping, my dad would take me and my sister to Kmart, and we would get super pretzels, big, long, hot super pretzels, and they were 4 for $1, right? So either I would always get pretzels to go. Sometimes we ate it there, sometimes we didn't. Then I would get hot dogs there too. And then once in a while, they had a monthly thing where you would get monthly cups, like Spider-Man, Marvel, Star Wars, or whatever. Like they always had like a theme every now and then in the front of Kmart. In the middle of Kmart, they had like a restaurant for some reason in the fucking middle, which was crazy. Um, and my favorite thing in Kmart would be, of course, the toy section, the electronic section. But again, like I was saying, growing up, I loved records, which was called vinyls now, right? But I would love, like, my dad to buy me a record, like, and I was fascinated with Kiss growing up. But then, of course, I loved everything. I loved Donna Summer. I loved Diana Ross was like my favorite with the Supremes and, you know, the Commodores and like Lionel Richie and Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and um, just Debbie Gibson and Jesus Christ, Tiffany, and you know, my time period, you know, is just a unique time period. And I remember before they became super popular, WWF was in high schools in wrestling. And I remember going to see the tag team champions Fuji and Saito and Andre the Giant. And I remember, I think the Ultimate Warrior was he like the Wydingo Warrior first? I remember going to my high school and then other high schools and going to see wrestling. WWF before it was WWE. I remember my father had worked in Wall Street, which, you know, that's the financial district of New York, and all the celebrities would be there too. And my father met Hulk Hogan, and my father met Andre the Giant. They were doing like they were filming The Rock and wrestling around there, and they came into my father's building. My father met them, and my father worked with Buster Crabbe. And if you don't know who Buster Crabbe was the original Flash Gordon on the TV serials like that they had, and he worked for my father, like under my father. My father was a big Wall Street person, uh, you know, so brokerage firm. So that was cool. Um, but I have a unique perspective, my family, because like I said, not a lot of people know, but my grandfather was a boxing champion as well as a baker. So he was a boxer and a baker, but not a candlestick maker. There you go. So I guess instead of punching um, meat, he was punching dough. But he was a baker, and they had a bakery in Brooklyn, and they had properties. They had houses in Italy and property all over the place, you know. And it's like weird. It's like they were all from Brooklyn, and then they were all coming to Staten Island. My grandfather and grandmother, my aunts, and of course, because I'm Polish too, they called Aunt Chuchi, which I didn't know that. I just said Chuchi, Sophie, Chuchi, Millie, and then when I tried to ask them how to spell it when I was in school, they didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And then I found out Chuchi meant aunt. So I'm Italian and Polish. And it's interesting because I'm Italian and Polish, but my godfather is Irish, and that was big because like was close with my godfather, and it was just like he was a great detective that caught the Son of Sam killer. So it's like he was a big serial killer that the Son of Sam in the 70s, like whatever, and that was his big bust. was the Son of Sam, catching the Son of Sam killer. So it was like a lot of different people in my family. Like my dad was in the Vietnam War. My dad was a photographer. My dad was a journalist, a reporter. He interviewed celebrities. He was a writer. Worked in Wall Street and became all the financial aspect. Besides, my heritage, like my family was beyond religious. My father beyond religious. My grandparents on my father's side religious, like ridiculous. I even said stories about my father regularly seeing the Pope because it was said that even before my father's generation that my ancestors were very, very close with the church. Like things about the Knights of Crusade and all this crap, and they were ridiculously close with the church. So my dad, too, for whatever reason, went to the Vatican a lot. I don't know. It's just, don't ask me why. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But the church, I remember, because I used to go every weekend to church, and I used to go for religious instructions. The church wanted me to be a huge part of the church, like a huge part. Like they wanted me to be a brother and a priest and altar boy, all these different things. And because I was the last of my kind, my father's like, absolutely not. He needs to carry down the name. I don't want him, while I want him to be very religious, he did not want me to be that religious like that. So my father put a stop to all of that. Like really made sure, even, every single time that the priests and all of them he didn't want me involved in any of that. My father was an altar boy. My father was all this stuff, chaplain's assistant, all these different things. But my father, as close as my family was to the church, my father did not want me to be in that because then that would be the end of my family crest, my family name. And that was a big thing in the Italian family about carrying on the name. So, crazy stuff. My father did not want me in the military at all. I wanted at one